Good morning, guys. There's a sun up there. How wonderful. The rest of it doesn't look so good, but we're not focusing our attention on that. Just the beautiful sun, and we're going to make it a glorious day. The time is 9:15 and it's Thursday. Gosh, it got to Thursday rather quickly. Honey loves her ball. Yes, she does. And I was involved in a surprise this morning, which was lovely. It was a little girl's birthday, and it's my daughter Hannah, her partner's 2 children, and this kind of surprise had been arranged for a while for her birthday, and it was exciting to be involved in it. I was the driver this morning, and I was supposedly taking them to a scarecrow exhibition, which I would rather have fancied going to. Anyway, last night, Hannah came with her partner and put all of their luggage into the back of Silver Shirley, which is good because no one goes into that back bit. And then they all got into the van, sat round the table, and were talking about the scarecrows. And then we went to the coach station and they saw Disneyland Paris, and the little girl, she was just so excited about it, which is fantastic, isn't it? And it was just lovely to be involved in that surprise. And it was her birthday, her sunny spin day, as I call it, another spin around the sun. And look at all of these beautiful pine cones. And I bought her a card, and to be honest, I don't really know her very well. This is a fairly new relationship for my daughter, about 6 months, I suppose. And I thought to myself, what kind of card should I get her? And I was drawn to this One Direction card. One Direction are... Come on, good girlie. One Direction are the modern equivalent of the Beatles, I suppose. I don't think there's as much meaning in their songs, but then I don't listen to very many of them, so I can't really judge. I got this card and I thought to myself, if she doesn't like them, I can always say she could use it as a dartboard. But as it turned out, when I arrived at their home, there she was with a great big I am 1, I am 10, and this incredible One Direction badge. So thank you, Fairy Godmother, for getting it so right. Oh, what a wonderful morning it's been. And I say that I don't like surprises, but, you know, I'm often surprised when I'm out walking and thrilled. Yes. Hello? Yes? Is there anyone alive out there? Anyway, I had a lovely day with Alfie as well. I'm putting up a little video of my time, granny time with him. I took my camera, and Alfie's fascinated by the camera, I suppose, because Granny's always got the camera when we go out. And he asked if he could take some pictures. So I thought, well, why not? I showed him what button to press and where to look. And off he went. And do you know, he had me posing. He was like, Granny, stand like this, move like that. It was so funny. And he took lots of pictures. It was just him and I. Wow, the machines are talking to each other out here. Now this kind of reminds me a little bit of the War of the Worlds. Hello, gorgeous. And I was just amazed at his photographs. Yes, some of them were very shaky. But he actually was, Granny, do this, or I'm going to take one of the house. And I thought, what's he looking up a tree for and saying he's taking one of the house? But actually, there was a bird box there. And Levi as well, making his stew and dumplings and taking his photographs. And I suppose what this is all making me think about is the word can't. Bring your ball, honey. Can't. I say it myself, or I can't do that. Or I talk myself out of things. Or I can't let Alfie have the camera. You know, oh my goodness, what would happen if? Instead of just kind of, good girl, bring it then, let's go. So I'm really focusing on how often I kind of say I can't do that, or they can't do that, or we can't do that, or whatever. And because really negatives don't exist, as we've talked about before. And that is just a state of mind, which can be changed so easily. When we went to Llanrheidr Falls, the waterfall in Wales, my mum came with us, and I was quite glad that she had in many ways. But one of these ways was because I was always the hill climber, the cycler, the swimmer, I used to go to the gym like as often as I could, sometimes twice a week. Twice a week. You know, I was the one who cycled from Land's End to John O'Groats, the one who wanted to swim across the channel. Hey, there's a sponsored walk on, it's 25 miles, do you want to come? Yep, I'll do it. Honey, get your ball. And I realised that I have just so limited myself with this whole chest bloody thing. So I was glad my mum came, because I knew that I could almost use her as an excuse. Now, doesn't that sound awful? But it's honest. I could say to my mum, or say to the guys who went with us, no, I don't want to leave Mum down here on her own, so we'll stay down here and you go on up. And when I saw Jim and Dana at the top, I took a little video of them, and I thought to myself, I'd love to be up there, but there's no way I can do that. And my daughter really gave me a talking to, because originally my mum hadn't wanted to come. She says, oh, I can't sit in a van for that long, and I'm only going to stop you all from having fun and all of this, and I won't be able to do this and I won't be able to do that. And I mean, okay, my mum's 85, 86, and has emphysema. Well, that's the label they've given her, and she behaves like it. And I actually told my mum to stop limiting herself. And then off I go to Llanrheidr Falls, and I do exactly the same. And it was wonderful when my daughter pointed it out. And there's no point getting defensive and kind of saying to yourself, well, just getting defensive, really. You need to acknowledge what other people say and listen. And don't take it as a personal attack. Take it as an act of love, if you will. Because when my daughter spoke to me like that, I realised that's exactly what I was doing. So I went with Mustaf, and at one point on this walk up, seriously, it felt as if my lungs were on fire. Everything else was just wonderful. My legs, you know, they did feel heavy, but it was just the exhilaration of doing it, of actually saying, you know, it doesn't matter how far I get. The whole point is that I am saying I can. So to finally reach the top, and I mean, it's not really, you know, we're not talking about a K2 here or an Everest. We're not even talking about a Snowdon or a Triffin. We're talking about a hill, really. But when I got to the top, I was so joyous, blissed out, wasn't I, son? Yeah. Thinking of the little ones again. And it was so worth it, not just for the view, but for the feeling that it gave me. The kind of, I did it. And I just think now, you know, why did I just suddenly stop doing things? Why did I just suddenly agree to this whole belief system? Oh, look at those. Look at that. Oh. You see, you have to have light and dark together to create this, you know. If it was all light, we wouldn't be able to see anything. As if it was all dark. But I just realised that they're the thoughts whizzing through my mind. It is so easy to don the label of, for want of a better word, patient. You know, you don't feel good, something's the matter, blah, 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 blah. You go to a doctor, the doctor kind of says this, and you can feel your whole body almost crumpling inward. You kind of, you know, your shoulders round and your head dips, and you suddenly feel like the label they've given you, even though, you know, half an hour before you didn't kind of feel that bad. I hope we're not in the bloody War of the Worlds scenario here. Very, very noisy on our peaceful walk, but everything happens for a reason. And I didn't follow through with the doctor because I just didn't want to. I just thought to myself, this is a game I'm not interested in playing, really. But there is still that bit of you inside that starts to believe that time is limited here, And you are limited here. No more the dream of swimming the channel. Oh, I do love you, sun. Beautiful star. You limit yourself, or there's no point going to the Tissington Trail for a day out, because you have to ride bikes, and you know what with my breathing. And even though you haven't gone for that sit down with the consultant and you know, go through the diagnoses, the prognoses, the C's, you do in your mind, in this little dark corner of your mind, you have actually gone through it, you have had the conversation. And that's where the limitation and the beliefs come from. So, I just think to myself, and maybe I will climb Snowdon again. Maybe I will. And it's much nicer to have that kind of thought about it than thinking to yourself, oh, woe is me, I will never be able to do that again. Because then, even when you try to imagine it, you see yourself struggling, you see yourself holding other people back, you see yourself as disabled, unable. Yeah. And this can't has been the same with Levi. You know, people have told us for so many years, because of the severity of his autism, as they call it, he won't be able to do this, he won't be able to do that. He can't write his name, he can't read, he can't speak. Well, do you know what? Bollocks to all of that. That's what I say. Good old-fashioned granny word, eh? Bollocks! Because I believe he can do anything he sets his mind to. Not us. Not what someone else sets their mind to on his behalf. But what he sets his mind to. And, you know, I think he has the potential. I can hear a woodpecker or something. I think he has the potential to be whatever Levi. Can you hear that? Whatever Levi wants to be. He comes back from his trip today, so I'm looking forward to seeing his photographs. And you know, he's the only child going who's got a camera. And when I said to the person I was dropping him off with, I said, oh, Levi's got his own camera, but would someone else be able to take some pictures of him with that camera as well? And the lady said, oh, you don't need to worry about that. The staff have got cameras and we'll take the pictures. Pardon me? I said, oh no, Levi has his own camera and wishes to take his own pictures. So, I just hope they let him do it. You see, is it that we don't let ourselves, or is it that other people don't let us? Anyway, I say anyway a lot. Everything is bright and beautiful. It is in my world anyway, and I know there's loads of stuff going on out there, even when you don't want to be aware of it. You find in conversations it's like you know, someone will say, oh, did you hear about this? And someone else will say, oh yes, I heard that. And then someone else will say, I heard that too. And everybody's wanting to kind of give the bad news. Isn't it strange? Oh, did you hear about what happened? Whoa. And I think to myself, maybe we should just say no, and I don't want to hear it either. Start to just switch it off so people aren't given the reward for passing on the bad news. Because I sincerely am of the belief that you can worry and worry and worry instead of just enjoying. And I mean, I wrote a book because I was concerned about things and the planet, and I ranted on. I mean, it's called The Wild Ranting of a Madwoman. I ranted on about things. I didn't do chapters, I did rants. And you think, how can I change things? How can I fix things? Well, the other day I was in the garden, my own back garden, and my mum was with me, and I was deadheading and, you know, doing the kind of general maintenance, watering and so on. And I had got some slipper things on my feet because I'd been deadheading, cutting off bits of roses, and, you know, I know what rose thorns are like. So put on these kind of slipper things. And what happened was they did as their label suggests, and they made me slip, or I slipped with them on. And I fell forward. Now, I fell forward and actually fell onto a cane that was propping up some tomatoes, and the cane was jagged. I don't know what it was doing there, and it's now no longer there. But as I slipped in these slippers, I think because of the water and everything else, instinctively your body takes over to protect you. You know, you don't have time to think or to rationalise what to do. And I reached out and grabbed, and this cane had just pressed itself, if you like, my body weight, straight through my throat. And I kind of was held in that position with it against my throat, but supporting my weight by holding on to this branch and trying to kick these wonderful slippers off my feet. And it opened my eyes, because I thought to myself, you know, we're worried that this might do us in, or that might do us in, or whatever, you know. Yet there, in my own little piece of paradise in the garden at the back of the hovel, it could have happened. Do you understand what I mean, guys? And it made me appreciate every single moment even more. And it made me realise that life is about the love that you give out and the love that you receive back. It's about the joy and the pleasure in being and physically experiencing. It's about actually not saying, I can't. It's about saying, I can, and I'm going to do it right now. Because none of us, guys, none of us know how long we're here. If we did, I wouldn't like to know anyway. And even if you are told you've got 2 years, you could still fall on a cane in the garden tomorrow. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, it's about appreciating everything you see. Everything, because it's all contributing to your experience. It's all contributing to the bliss, the pleasure, and the beauty that surrounds you. And if you are feeling blissed and peaceful and so glad to be physically alive on this planet, then guys, you are contributing to the wonder of this beautiful paradise. Right, I'm going to go. I'm going out with my mum today, so who knows, there might be another video later on. But keep looking up, guys. It really is the only way to look. And let's stop getting defensive. People who love us never say anything that's intended to hurt us, only to guide us and to ultimately take us to a place of bliss, peace and happiness. And remember to enjoy life, live it. Seriously, it's what it's all about. So much noise in these trees. Do you know, I think it's the squirrels going for hazelnuts. Anyway, I love you all. So from Honey, you say bye, Honey, and Debbie, the dried up stream, and my feet, it's goodbye. And I love you all. Bye. Ooh. Which way?